the Drogheda for All group, who not only convened this but have been here for 2 years condemning the war in Palestine as well. And you've been a very vocal voice for oppressed in the town, in the global aspect as well. But look, this isn't a new, it isn't a new argument, but unfortunately it has been let fester. It's been, as I often say, we were walked into it. We were walked into these situations by the government because they haven't prepared for refugees coming to Ireland, people seeking asylum. We've known for decades that people were going to be coming to Ireland seeking refuge because the world has just become a place of conflict. 1 in 8 people live in an area of conflict, and there were plans and there were reports on how best to house people coming here, and unfortunately that wasn't adhered to, and instead we were left with a for-profit model instead of a not-for-profit model, and that has it's probably led really to the situation we've had here, but also it has also led to the far right getting a hold and trying their best to get a hold and really holding that narrative, because a lot of people don't agree. The vast majority of people do not agree with their sentiments, but it's very hard for people to speak out, and I have said this before, sometimes it can be very tiring to constantly challenge the narrative that they try to push. And but it happened in Termafeckin over 2 years ago, where the far right tried to get on hold, and they were picking on vulnerable people who had just arrived in our country, and a group of people stood up. And it was very difficult. It was a lot of people who did not want to see them living in our area. They had fear thrust upon them. They didn't know who they were, but there was a group of people who stood up, and there's some of these people here today, and they put their arms around the victims, or the victims of the far right, I would say, but also these men who had come to our country, and some of them were just boys. Like, they literally were 18 and 19. They had left Afghanistan. They were not going back to see their families anytime soon, and literally they were missing their mammies, and some of them had wives and children that they had to leave as well. So this is the human aspect that is part of people who come seeking asylum. And we know there's economic migrants, but Irish people are economic migrants every single day of the week, so they are. So it is human nature to strive, to want to go to other places to make a better life for yourself. That's just human nature. We want to bring up our families in the best environment we can, and Ireland is one of the top 5 safest countries in the world. So why would you not want to bring your family here? Of course there has to be procedures around how we do all of these things, but unfortunately they just weren't to the best standard, and that's where we were today. We absolutely condemn, as we have been doing all week, the actions of a few who are trying to, bring down the name Barten yet again, but also, we could have been looking at mass murder. I had a man last night in his 80s at an event crying. He was actually just crying. He was so upset that children were subjected to this, that they were stuck upstairs, that they may have died, they may have had to jump out of a window, and he was crying. And that is the effect that this has had on people. It's like when we had a death of a young older teenager in Drogheda, and that was the line that we draw under that, and this is the line that we draw under this as well. As I say, it has caused a lot of discussion, and it is important to have discussion with other people. I think it's really important that we talk to other people, we talk about the narrative, but also we have to recognise that people are often just angry and frustrated at their own problems. And in Drogheda, we can't ignore that we are a Drogheda with areas of severe deprivation that is not caused by migrants coming into our country, but it is caused by failures in the government. It is caused by investment in our education services, where we still have one of the really highest teacher ratios. We don't have enough supports for women who are rearing children on their own, who may be separated and they are left in risk of poverty. We look at the male unemployment levels and looking at their literacy levels, and again we're going back to education as well. Education is one of the key things, and supporting families, but most importantly supporting mothers, because mothers are so influential in your family life. So There's a whole other picture here that we have to look at, and why people are so angry as well. But we have to keep pushing that narrative, and we also have to keep pushing. And I am delighted that this group worked so hard to get Catherine Conley elected, and that shows that the majority of people in Ireland, it really does reflect that is not what they believe. That is not what they believe. And people like some of the candidates who are trying to get a nomination were not pushed forward, because we have left that Ireland behind. We have left the dark ages behind. We will not be dragged back into it, and we will keep going forward. And that means a Drogheda for all, but also an Ireland for all. So thank you.